All right, hey everyone, welcome in. Tonight's stream is brand new. It is the first stream of the podcast. This is a Pokemon Go podcast, hoping to keep it going. My first ever guest is a close friend of mine on Discord. Really good PvPer, solid with both Silph and Go Battle League. If you're on the Discord, you obviously know he is, and I mentioned quite a lot on stream. We're going to be interviewing Kaleb Schulz, goes by the trainer name of BigDudeK78, and we're going to be talking everything Go Battle League Season 12, the update, all the new moves, his personal opinion on how PvP works in Go Battle League, and as well as any advice he has for hitting Legend. Um, yeah, go ahead, Kaleb. Say hello.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thank you for having me on, Mr. Catpaws.
Yeah, no worries. This is awesome. Like I said in a previous stream, I had thought about doing this type of a stream um, in the future. And you just have to mention everything about having you on the stream. So it's just awesome to have you on here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get into it.
Okay, so I'm gonna have the music on super low, just in the background, but I don't want to take away from the interview. So for everyone in the stream producer, in the chat, I'm going to be focusing a lot on the interview. I will be looking at chat as it comes in. I just ask that if anyone has questions, try to hold them till the end of the interview, because I don't want to keep breaking off and saying hello. I also want to mention this is the first stream that Facebook stars should be online. And also I should have Facebook subscription now on too, if anyone's interested in that. But we're going to jump into the interview here. And yeah, so Kaleb, what is your favorite Pokemon?
So I think I've got to go with Machamp there. I'll get into it a little bit more later. But it was first thing I took to level 40 in Go, and it's been a beater for me in gyms since like day one. As soon as I got it, it's been putting in work for me. So I'd have to say that one's my favorite.
Yeah, I would have to. Machamp is definitely one of my favorites. Definitely a really strong fighting Pokemon in all aspects of the game, and it's really important to get one in your repertoire as a beginner player to be able to take down gyms. It's quite useful in raiding, and it's also obviously good in PvP. So yeah, just tell us like a bit about yourself, like where are you from, and maybe like kind of like what it's like to play Pokemon where you are.
So I am from Wisconsin, about halfway in between Milwaukee and Chicago. And live with my wife and daughter. Daughter's 3 months old now, so it's been a hectic summer.
Yeah.
But
Congrats on becoming a dad.
thank you. But yeah, so playing in my area, um, where I initially started playing was Racine, and it actually has um, the downtown area has a really strong. It's a great place to play. Honestly, there's stops all over the place, plenty of gyms, plenty of actually really great spawn clusters. Um, so much so that we've had to deal with some spoofers.
Yeah,
But everywhere that's everywhere has some of those guys. But um, yeah, now I've moved a little bit further south. I'm a little bit farther away from some of the main uh, stop and gym clusters, but there's a park nearby. Got I think 18 stops now in the park and 7 or 8 gyms, so that's plenty to keep me busy.
yeah, that's a pretty healthy density of stops and gyms. And yeah, obviously, doesn't matter where you go. Every community has to deal with spoofers and gym spoofers. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah, we had one guy. I think right before they started doing crackdowns on spoofing a couple months ago, my count was up to he had 32 accounts, and
Oh
he
my
was
god.
gymming nonstop, spoofing gyms nonstop, and it was impossible to knock him out. And
That's
it
crazy.
we we had to get teams of 6, 7, 8 people going out to different gyms, hitting them all at once just to remove them, and then 10 minutes later he's right back in all of them.
That's nuts.
But
I couldn't imagine just having that many phones, having that many like devices to play
I
that many.
know we had a theory that he probably did them all on his computer, because there's no way you can afford to have that many phones and just it. Yeah, it's.
He had to have some sort of botting system or something.
But thankfully, I have not seen him around since Niantic announced the crackdown on spoofers, so they are doing their job, and it's been great.
Yeah, that's good. Good. All right, so let's just see here. Where do you? Oh yeah. So how did you get into Pokemon Go, and were you a Pokemon fan before Go?
Go was actually my first Pokemon game. I joined in the big craze right when it dropped, back in, what was that, 2016. So yeah, I joined. Some of my friends who I had done other games with were jumping on board, and I did too. And we'd go out for hours, driving around, walking around, playing. Those were the days. I was in college at the time, and so I had my summer off, and of course it drops right in the middle of summer. So what did we do all summer long? Just
Play Pokemon.
nonstop grinding.
Yeah,
That was
just
a
play
blast.
Pokemon. Nice. Yeah, I didn't get into the game till 2019, and it was something for my son and I to get out and get him out of the house, get him go for a walk, and
Nice.
yeah.
But yeah, I actually I did not play any of the Pokemon games growing up. Um, I I don't know. I was always more of a sports video game kind of guy.
Okay.
So Madden, all the baseball games out there, and that kind of stuff is uh, where I was usually spending my time. But yeah, it the difference in Go versus your traditional video game is kind of what kept me sticking around.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts of Pokemon Go that um, it's not just one dynamic game. There's lots of different areas of the game, and that kind of brings me to my next question. What parts of Pokemon Go do you primarily enjoy, and is there any part that doesn't really pique your interest?
Well, as I'm sure you're aware, I enjoy the battling aspect. But originally, um, back when it first dropped, my goal was complete the decks, and I've kept that goal throughout. As of right now, I think I'm only missing four or five Pokemon. Um, but yeah, it's evolved from just dex filling, uh, which is actually how I got into battling, and I'll talk about that more in a second. But um, shiny hunting is kind of where I've really gone hard the last couple of years, trying to fill that shiny dex, and the number of things I'm missing is slowly starting to creep down. Shiny decks and also costume shinies. That's another one I've been focusing quite a bit on. And yeah, so um, how I got into battling actually was when they said Rufflet would be a battle exclusive
Okay.
release early on.
Okay.
And I was at the time really close to finishing the decks as far as what had been released. So I was like, well, now I guess I got to get in battling. I need this one before everybody else gets it, and yeah, the rest is history. I got a little taste of it, and I got addicted.
Nice, nice. As we can tell, and you've obviously moved forward and been very successful at it in both Go Battle League and Silph Arena. Just gonna take a quick little pause here, and I'm just gonna say hi to chat. Hey, chat. I know you guys, a bunch of you guys are asking me a bunch of questions right now. Tonight I'm interviewing Big Dude, and I'm going to be focusing primarily on the interview tonight, but I am reading chat. If anyone has any questions they would like for Big Dude, if you actually hold those to the end just so they don't get lost in the chat, or send me like a DM on Facebook, or not, actually DM on Discord would be better, and I'll check my DMs before I do it. I'll make sure I get all the questions in there. And I know Logan, I think Party Panda mentioned, no, you're not too late. We're just kind of in the intro part. We haven't really gotten into the real grit of it. Thank you for all the likes and everything coming in so far. But yeah, talking with Big Dude K right now, Kaleb Schulz, and we're going to be getting into the PvP stuff here pretty soon. But yeah, so kind of going back to what you were saying there, Kaleb, it's interesting that you say that about a dex completionist, because that's actually one area of the game that I've never really I know I have friends who they want lucky decks. They're trying to do the full decks, lucky decks, shiny decks. I have people who trying to do like living dexes. They want like hundos of everything. They have really crazy dex goals. But that was actually never one that really piqued me personally. But I do try to complete the main decks, of course.
Yeah, now that you mention it, Lucky Dex is another one I've been working on. I'm still a ways off on that one, but yeah, it's completionist stuff, man. I probably will never stop playing until I'm 100% done with everything. So, I mean, I know there's like people have shiny decks. They have shiny 3-star decks, which is nuts. I don't know if I'm ever even going to attempt that one. But yeah, lucky decks I've been working on, and I don't know, it's just another thing to chase. And then hundo decks, that's never going to happen. I'm not going to get that one done either. But yeah, there's definitely some fun things to chase, and you can play the game pretty much however you want to.
Yeah, that's the great about the game. It's funny because I actually know people who are actually going for like Lundo dexes, like not just hundo dexes, but lucky hundo dexes.
That
they're savage.
Props to them on that. That's gonna take them forever with all the legendaries and stuff. Whew. That's yikes.
yeah, there are some out there. I guess yeah. So if you could make one addition, change, or improvement to the game, what would it be?
Man, I can only pick one.
Well, you can. Great. Well, I just said that, like, you can pick. You can say as many as you want. I just kind of gave. I didn't want to give you over. Be like, name 5.
Yeah, but one thing I had mentioned a little bit earlier that I'm happy has changed is the crackdown on spoofers. It had been a problem in our area for a while, and so that's a change that I'm happy has been made. In addition, I would say give us better ways to earn dust. Like, one thing that had been thrown out there is make it something that's skill based. So like if you hit an excellent throw, have like a 300, 400, 500 dust bonus for hitting the excellent throw on a Pokemon. Like, you can't hit it every single time, so you're not going to get that boost all the time, but have other ways for us to earn dust, considering how expensive it is to get stuff up to level 50 now. It's absolutely insane how much you have to grind just to get one build up to 50. And bouncing off of that, XL candy, it's so hard to come by just in everyday play. You've almost got to have a trade partner that you can trade with at least 2-3 times a week and just meet up and max out your trades. It's really, really tough, and especially on legendaries. With the 1 or 2 special trades a day we get, that was a nice perk, being able to trade away legendaries, get the guaranteed XLs. But yeah, it's tough, really tough to max something right now.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Better ways to gain resources. Like I know there's a bit of a balance right now because I know Niantic, they don't want to just like hand things to people. They want them to like they want people to grind to work for them. But I actually like that idea of maybe like if you get, because right now if you make a great throw, an excellent throw, especially get the first catch bonus, it's all about the XP. But I actually like the idea of actually having maybe like extra stardust for making better throws. That would be really interesting. Some of the things I do like for stardust is especially when you have the events when you have those high dust catches. Like right now you had Combi. There's quite a few events that Sable Eye was everywhere, and those are like 750 catches. So going out and catching those. I think one of my favorite spotlight hour ever, and I handballed the heck out of it, and had star pieces on, was Sable Eye Spotlight Hour.
Sable Eye and Alolan Meowth too.
Alolan Meowth, yeah.
That one was a good one for me. I got quite a bit of dust on that one, but yeah, I mean they have events like that, but some of them, like Spotlight Hours, the times are just so limited. Even now with community days dropping down to 3 hours. I mean, I've read the interviews and whatnot, and I understand where they're coming from, but like, I think some of their expectations are a little bit unrealistic. We can't have everybody planning their lives around the game all the time. Like, I mean, I know there's things that I will plan around, but it's every single event all the time. It's too much. You've got to pretty much dedicate your whole life to it, and there's a little bit of a balance issue with how much they want you to dedicate versus how much is healthy.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. I think I understand them going back from the 6 hour community day to the 3 hour because that's what it originally was. I think also a lot of people were making like some more people. It was like maybe too extreme for them. But I think what they should have done, and I think I've talked to some other people about this, was maybe even give people an option where you could choose your time slot. Like you could do like 9 to 12, 11 to 2, 3 to 6, like whatever you want. So like, because not everyone can just be like book the day off, or not everyone has weekends off. Like I'm lucky now that my day job allows I don't work weekends, but before I used to be a chef. I used to work in hospitality. I worked weekends. I worked like it just no, but I can't go like
that I do like that idea. Being able to pick your slot, like give people 24-hour window. Say, hey, pick your 3 hours. That would make it a lot more accessible because, yeah, like you said, people work. Not everybody works Monday to Friday. And yeah, I think they're just so focused on what it was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
I think the play style has changed dramatically since then, and there's a lot of things in our lives where we're just like, I wish it was the way it was, 3 years ago, back before all this started. But the reality, yeah, it's not. It never will be. Like there's a new normal, and we've got to run with it the best we can. And I think Niantic's logic might be still stuck in 2019, 2020.
Yeah, I think like when Niantic brought in all the COVID changes, they released some a beast state, and they can't. It's just not tameable fully. And I think that some of like overall, like I still understand and agree with what Niantic wants to do about the game, and it's Pokemon Go. It's not Pokemon sit at home. They want people to.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea is like go out, go for a walk, explore a new area, find this, find new areas. But at the same time, um, especially with now where the game is at, like with remote raid, especially with remote raid passes, they've made it where literally you almost have to have so many online groups, Discords, Facebook pages, other communities have started, and we're all have to friend each other up and pretty much get the best friends anyway. And then it kind of goes into your other topic about trading, but I feel like the game is just it's different, and we need to adapt, and the company needs to adapt.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many communities out there that are global now, and I think Niantic hasn't totally ignored it, but it's that they haven't put as much effort into recognizing those communities. I mean, I run a Discord server. I think we're up close to 800 people now. It originally started as like a Milwaukee thing. I took over about a year and a half ago, and we've got people from all over the world, and it's a great community, and I've gotten to know quite a few people from there. And yeah, if it wouldn't have happened without COVID, like everything would have stayed local, but this new aspect of the game has emerged, and yeah, I don't think they take that into account enough.
Yeah, I'd have to agree, and because you're talking about the Thunderdome server, correct?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. A good PvP server. If anyone else wants another PvP server to play on, lots of great competitive Silph tournaments on there as well. So if anyone wants to join up on Big Dude's server as well as mine, definitely get in there. Lots of good PvP tournaments there, and help and advice and all that kind of stuff. But I have
just shoot me a DM. I'll get you the invite link.
Okay, a couple of things here. Logan said here, it's more than that though. To just a new bundle of boxes in the store. They are intentionally reducing the amount we get out of to force us to pay more, to interact more. Yeah, I'd have to agree. Like I think someone posted on the post I put on my Facebook page about the boxes was, does anyone remember this glorious box from 2018? I wasn't playing then, but it had like 24 raid passes, 10 lures, like 10 of it. It was like 10 lures, 10 star pieces, like 24 raid passes, and there was something else in there. There
10
was
lucky eggs.
10 lucky eggs, like, and it was just nuts. And every once in a while, they're just slowly making the boxes.
That's insane.
Like it's more, less for more, or less for the same, and it's crazy how it's going.
Yep.
But yeah, I definitely agree with what you said. More ways to earn Stardust, because right now the key ways I know to earn Stardust is obviously grinding the game, play any event that's double, triple, or Stardust or more, especially run star pieces on those. Focus on the boosted Stardust catches. I bury gyms as much as I can. Like I bury cap myself. Even I try to do it on silver gyms I want points on, but I put them into gold gyms if I have to, because berries are literally just free Stardust. You just have to feed them into gyms. Hatching eggs. Kind of the main ways to grind the dust.
Battle League.
Yeah, Battle League. I've gained an insane amount of dust from Battle League.
Oh yeah, I think I'm up to like 15 million or 16 million from Battle League, something crazy like that. But I've spent more dust on Battle League than I've earned from it. So
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, at the beginning, sure, you get a lot of dust from it, but in the end, it sucks all your dust.
It totally sucks. Like, 'cause like I'm just looking at my battle right now. I'm at like Stardust earned total is 15,400,000, just over 400,000. So I'm pushing 15.5 million. But the amount of dust that I put into PvP, especially now with all the XL Pokemon, like
Oh, I know.
like a level 50 Pokemon, that's 500,000 dust, right? That's 500,000 dust easy. And if it's a shadow, it's more. And
Yeah.
this, or like I had a level I caught a level 1 PvP hundo of something and 50'd it. And I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, man, I can't imagine. That, I mean, yeah, I just looked. 16.7 million is how much dust I've earned from Battle League. And that's what, 32 level 50 Pokemon? Like,
Yeah.
it's almost nothing.
Yeah, it's a lot. And going to the other thing you said about XL candy, like they have come up with ways to get XL candy more easier to get. Like I definitely like the mega bonus, especially if you fully level all your mega Pokemon, you run a mega Pokemon during an event and you get those extra XL chances. That's a good way to get XL candy.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I'm so bad at remembering the mega everything. That's one portion of the game where I'm just like, oh crap, it's been 3 weeks since I've done that.
Little tip I'm going to give out to you and the audience, and this is something that Mrs. Catpaws actually does. Is she has an alarm that goes off every single day at quarter to midnight. It's her last call, so she does all of her megas. She makes sure she opens and sends all of her gifts and does all of her interactions, daily interactions, to make sure they're all done. So one way to make sure you get it all done, just set yourself a last call alarm, do your megas, gifts.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Because I'm bad with gifts too, so.
Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, I think definitely like the best, and I keep saying like the one reason I've been able to get so much XL candy is like I have dedicated trading partners. I got a group of friends with. We all have each other, like we actually have a whole set of like spreadsheets. We have a Google Docs. We list all the Pokemon if we're looking for candy and stuff, so we can save each other's trade piles. And
Nice.
we meet up. We trade. I Mrs. Catboss does more trading than I do. Like she definitely trade caps like every single day, pretty much. I try to trade cap as much as I can,
Wow,
but
that's impressive.
um, especially when you have that guaranteed XL from any trade, let alone if it's distance, it's so amazing just to grind out those
Yeah,
XLs.
that was a great perk. That, and then plus they added in the extra special trade a day, so you could do 2 and get 2 legendary
Yeah.
XLs every day. That was amazing. It's something I wish they would have made permanent.
Yeah, definitely
But
that would have been. Because funny story.
it wouldn't be a bonus if it if it stayed forever.
Yeah, for sure. Like my a friend of mine, his name is Devin, got onto it, and I was like, I just kind of, he just mentions like, hey, he's like, I got Kyogres for trading, like, and he's like, okay, and we just started sending me. He sent me a Kyogre, and it was just like a candy trade, and then I looked at it, it was like 2351. Wait a minute, that's a hundo.
Oh
And it's
man, I'm jealous.
non lucky, and I rated Kyogre so much, and I couldn't get one. I think I have done like a dozen or more Kyogre lucky, like guaranteed lucky trades, shiny, non-shiny, trying to get a hundo, and just like some random here, I want candy for this, and it went hundo, and then it was crazy.
Oh man, that's nuts. Yeah, that sounds like how I was grinding for Zacian. I swear I've got like 340 XLs for it and didn't even get anything to build. Like
Wow.
I got a 98, but if 14, 15, 15, but if I'm
Yeah,
building it for PvP,
I have
I
that
don't
too.
want to lose the CMP. So
Exactly.
it's like I was looking for 15, 14, 15, 15, 14, 14, or the hundo. Didn't get any of them. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I have a
that was
98.
rough.
I have the 98 with 14 attack like you have, and I have a 96. I think I can remember it's a 15, 14, 14, or 15, 13, 15. But like I said, with the Stardust cost and with the um, candy cost, I have a hard time. Like ideally, when I 50 things, the two things I 50 are either hundos or really cool shinies, like really good shinies. Um, it's just like
Hmm.
it's like because I know as soon as if I 50 this thing, as soon as it comes back where I do a trade one, I'm gonna get the hundo and I'm gonna be like, okay, now I got to grind the
Yep.
candy for this all
Yeah.
over again. So it's like I don't want to pull the trigger.
It is so hard to invest in something that's not a hundo.
Yeah, totally.
So hard to invest in it.
I just want to take one quick second here to thank the chat. For those who have sent me stars, first time star senders, thank you so much. Stars are finally online. Facebook subscription is online. You can now become a supporter um, through Facebook itself. So thank you so much for the support tonight. Talking here with Big Dude. This is lots of fun. But yeah, so I think that kind of wraps up my intro questions for you, Kaleb. Um, so yeah, I think let's unless you have anything else you want to kind of talk about in that first section, let's talk about what everyone's here for. Let's talk season 12, the lots of big move updates, some new moves. We got some debuffs. We got some buffs. All sorts of great things. So I'm just going to give it over to you and just give everyone your take on it.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of scrims and a lot of just testing out some of the new mons in Battle League over the last week or so that they've been out. I've got to say, Niantic did a lot of good things with this update. I mean, it's been about 9 months in the making, but they gave us 9 months worth of move updates. Double Kick and Fairy Wind, awesome, love them. They are great additions to kind of change up how you can play some of these Pokemon. Fairy Wind especially. As soon as I saw the update, I built a Galarian Weezing because I was just so pumped to use it. And spoiler alert, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. It, unfortunately.
Oh
Um,
no!
yeah, uh, it's a heck of a lot better than it was, and it's fun to play. Landing an overheat on Trevenant or G-Fisk, it's great, love it, it's fun, but it's not quite what you want out of a fairy type. Like, I know I was leading it, and I couldn't outpace Sableye. I lost to Sableye in the two shields with a fairy type running a fairy type fast move.
And
Like,
with play rough.
I can't justify using that. Yeah, with play rough, it just outpaced. It landed one foul play at the end, and that was it. Weezing was gone before I could get the third move off.
Dang.
And it's just like, man, I can't even beat a Sableye with this fairy type. What's the purpose? I mean, it's a great hard wall for fighting types. Um,
That yeah,
with
for sure.
fairy and poison double resisting. Plus, you're pumping out the play roughs pretty quick. But yeah, it's tough to justify using when it can't beat Sableye. When it's resisting foul plays like that. It's in Battle League the way it is now. You need your fairy type to be able to beat Sableye. It that's just yeah. So I'm excited
I
to
would
use
agree.
it in some limited cups in Silph, but as far as open, I, you it's tough to team build around. First off, um, and yeah, you need your fairy type to be able to beat Sableye. So, uh, kind of jumped ahead of myself a little bit there.
Yeah, it's all
I
good.
wanted to talk about the nerfs first. So, um, Icicle Spear nerf, about dang time. I am so happy that Walrein got nerfed. It's been a pain in the butt ever since it was released, and it was funny. Some people were complaining right after the community day that
Yep.
Icicle Spear wasn't good enough, and it's like now look where we are. It needed to be nerfed, and it's still a good mon. Like you're still able to use it a lot in Battle League. It's definitely not something that just went from best in the world to you can't even use it. You can still use it. It's got great coverage still. It just the nerf was very necessary to slow it down. Um, and I was actually reading through, I think it was a Reddit thread today talking about the icicle spear nerf. Some people think it was too much because now it can't handle Swampert and Trev as well as it used to. But like it, I completely disagree. I think it was much needed. It was winning way too many neutral matchups, and yeah, it. I'm very happy to see that one. Um, and now Zap Cannon. This is the one I don't think they got right. They dropped the debuff from 100% to 66%, I think it was. Um, it still hits too much, and the move hits too hard. Like it, Registeel, it's still
It's still ranked number
one of the
one.
top dogs. Yeah, it not going away with that nerf, and I don't even think that nerf brings it into the pack. Honestly, it's I know people were speculating 50% or less chance to debuff and hoping for a little bit of a damage nerf on it as well, and we didn't get the damage nerf. They only dropped the debuff to 66%. It didn't do enough there, so that one left me wanting more. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna debuff it or nerf it in back-to-back seasons, so we might have to wait on that one.
I would agree.
So, I mean, your main core is still there. Trev, Registeel, everywhere, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And yeah, it's interesting because like I said, just going back to Fairy Wind on like you said, like a fairy type has to be able to beat Sableye because I would say Sableye is probably the most played dark type in Great League. You still see Umbreon, you still see Mandibuzz, you definitely see Scrafty, but you definitely see Purified Sableye is probably the most played. I'd argue, I think it's probably the most played dark and ghost type, and
Yep.
it's such a common swap.
It's the safest.
It's the safest swap.
Thing to use. Like you're only taking super effective from Fairy. It's it's just an amazing typing combined with great fast move, two great charge moves that provide almost perfect coverage. I mean, I think the only two type combinations that resist everything Sableye has to throw are Dark Steel and Dark Rock. Those are the only two that resist everything. And with there's nothing in Great League that's open viable that has those combinations. So Sableye, you're hitting everything for at least neutral, which is absolutely insane. I think Sableye is my favorite thing to run in Great League. I think it's been on every team I've had for the last 3 seasons. But yeah, it's gonna get nerfed at some point, and I'm thinking it's gonna come in the form of a nerf to return. That's I think how they're gonna do it. I know way back when Return first debuted, it was a bait move. It wasn't a nuke, and I think at some point it's going to go back to that. But we'll see. Back to the moves. So rollout, as you covered, gets an energy generation nerf, which they did that because of Miltank. I still don't agree with it. I think rollout honestly was a little weak to begin with, and now they've just, I mean, it's gotten nerfed to the point where Tackle's a better move to run on Miltank anyways, in my opinion.
That's
more
interesting.
on that later. But yeah, it doesn't do any kind of fast move pressure at all. It's purely energy generation, and even then, it's good. Like it's good energy generation, but it's um, not world beating. So I don't know if I agreed with that one. The nerfs to Ancient Power, Ominous Wind, and Silver Wind. Well, nerf and I guess buff with damage. I like those. I don't like moves that can uh, increase or decrease attack or defense stages by two um, at once. It's just, and then to increase both attack and defense at the same time, absolutely insane. Makes battles completely random. Like if you get that boost, it's over. Um, I even hate Night Slash. I've I've got a bad relationship with Night Slash.
Yeah.
It's cost me some games that I had no business losing,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I'd have to agree. Because I know so many times, I'd be streaming and I'd be battling either usually with Togekiss. I always called it Super Kiss to get the ancient power off. Super
Mm-hmm.
Kiss just becomes like a beast. It'll destroy things that even normally it gets destroyed
Yep.
by. Or you get Super Tina, Origin Giratina. You get you Ominous Wind. You fake Shadow Ball. They block. You get Super Tina, and then you're just like destroy. Like
That's game at that point. But man, I swear, Night Slash is a thorn in my side. I never get the buff
same.
when I need it, and it always comes like on the like game clinching move or something like that,
Oh, it
or
does.
Obstagoon's in the low red, and finally get the
Yeah,
Night Slash
yeah,
buff, and it's like, well, I get a counter in maybe,
yeah. Like
and
that.
then of
That was me
course
all
my
the time.
opponents, I had I had a faction battle last cycle. Um, I needed to 3-0 the guy to win the week for us. I was the last one to
Okay.
battle. I've got him win the first two games. Um, Comes down to the third game. Read his lead right. Read the swap right. I'm good to go. I'm in position to
Wow.
win. Literally, his only win condition is if his Primeape hits a Night Slash buff on my Araquanid on the first Night Slash it throws. And what happens? First Night Slash.
Boosted. Go.
Get the boost. And I was still one fast move from winning. I was so pissed off about
that
that one.
that's choking. Because I have to say, like, Night Slash for myself, I'm on board. Like, I never get the like Obstagoon is like kind of. I think Obstagoon is probably like the primary Night Slash Pokemon. There's a few other ones, like you have Primeape, you have Farfetch'd, you have Scissor, but I would say like
Surfetched.
Surfetch, yeah, Surfetch. Obstagoon though is like kind of like your main, but like I I would never get the if I ever got the boost, he's like one punch from being dead. I'm like, wow, like, but I know so many times
Yep.
when I would literally open against an Obstagoon, or they'd switch into Obstagoon, first Night Slash boosted. I'm like, really?
Yep. Yeah, that was brutal. We were playing at the time. I think we were 0-3, and we were in a big hole because we didn't want to get demoted, and we are playing the team who was in first. And it comes down. Um, it's the last set. We're down uh, 10-8. I need a 3-0 to win us the week. Comes down to that last freaking battle. Night Slash boost lost us a week. And it's just like, man, I couldn't have done anything different. I had it played right, and it
Yep,
just
yep, been there.
pure dumb luck. And I talked to the guy after. He's like, yeah, that was luck. If I don't get that boost there, I don't win that game. And I'm like, yep, I'm aware.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm aware. Like I know.
That was rough. That was rough. But
Um,
you know, it all worked out in the end. We managed to go on a nice little run and not get demoted. But at that point in time, I was like, man, that's just killer.
Yeah, totally. Just a quick question I want to mention because it's from Logan Gardner, aka Party Panda Pup. But they didn't. This is about rollout, but they didn't debuff the damage, just the energy rollout generated. From my understanding, it's allowed Miltank to get two body slams every 15 turns, which is slightly oppressive.
Yeah, what they did do with rollout, though, is right before its release, they nerfed the damage. It was supposed to be one more damage and the same energy that it was. So it was supposed to be just slightly better than Snarl. But yeah, they nerfed the damage right before Alolan Geodude Community Day.
Okay.
So in a way, they kind of nerfed it, but it was before anything actually got it.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, the spam, I don't think the Miltank spam is that bad. Just because of the fact that rollout doesn't do any fast move. Like, the fast move damage is so limited that the body slams coming from such a defense weighted on it, they don't do. It's not like body slams coming off of Vigoroth. Like, Vigoroth combines the fast move pressure of counter with those body slams coming out every 10 turns. Like, that's insane.
Yeah, that's good.
Rollout, it doesn't provide that same fast move pressure, so I don't think the spam is that big of a deal, honestly.
Yeah, it's a big difference from, like, the body slams spam of Vigoroth, because you have that fast move pressure of counter and those fast body slams.
Yeah, but it's personal preference. I think they could have been fine with rollout as it was originally designed.
Yeah.
But that.
Well, because I found it really interesting. Sorry to cut you off, but like I found it really interesting because rollout came out, and then looking at PvP Poke, in all leagues, PvP Poke was still recommending Volt Switch over rollout, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, Volt Switch is a great move, and I wasn't surprised to see that one recommended because there's just rollout doesn't do it with the fast move pressure. I mean, you can get to those nukes quickly, but Alolan Golem's not one that's one-shotting everything, Like, if something like, I don't know, Zapdos or Shadow Victory Bell got it, then it'd be another story, because those things can just slice through anything. But the Pokemon that have it don't seem to benefit as much from it.
All right, let's bring it back to kind of the main target here. I think we were talking about Walrein finally getting a debuff.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no. These tangents go off.
A little bit of a tangent.
Oh, we did. It's all good. We had some good discussions, good topics in there. It's good questions. But yeah, let's get back to Walrein.
So I think I was going down move by move from the update list. I think I got two more to cover that were both buffed, and those were the normal moves, Quick Attack and Tackle. Quick Attack has become a normal type Fine Whip clone, which is amazing. There wasn't much demand coming from the community for it, but it's a really nice addition. I know Logan's been running Victini with Quick Attack instead of Confusion, and those V creates come out, and they come out fast.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
It's a nice move. I like the update. And then Tackle got a buff so that it is now a Bug Bite clone, which Bug Bite's a perfectly average move. I think the standard that they go by for fast moves is your energy per turn plus your damage per turn. Energy generated plus your damage per turn. Um, if it's right at 6 for that combination, it's average. Anything above 6 is good. Anything below is bad. And Bug Bite comes in right at 6. It's that perfectly average move. And so now Tackle goes from something that's completely unusable to it's a serviceable move. Like I like it. It's doing a lot of good. I don't know anything that's besides Miltank, which I'll get to, that is going to want to use Tackle over other preferred moves. I think Munchlax is another one that the Sims have said now want Tackle, but it's just a good move. It was a good buff, and yeah, nobody's going to complain about that one.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And it's actually kind of nice to actually see some of the normal moves get a bit of a buff, because there's quite a few Pokemon that had them, and they didn't have any other fast moves, and they were just kind of like not really viable for anything.
Yeah, I'm not much of a Master League guy, but Xerneas, that one I think had all it had is Tackle, and now it's actually you can use it, and yeah, so it's good. I'm happy they updated it. Yeah, so I think we can move into some of the new move availability, move pool updates. So
yeah, and this is quite a big update, so this is good to go over.
We've got quite a bit to cover. I'll go over some of the middle evolutions first that got moves. So Nidorina, Nidorino, Haunter, and Dragonair. They all got move updates, I think, because of the one of the cups that is coming up this season is all about the middle evolution Pokemon. So that's where I think they're coming from with those updates. Nothing that, oh, I need to build this for Open Great League right now. No, it's for that cup that they're running.
Okay.
But I don't really have any complaints about them.
What was the name of that cup? Do you remember?
Let me see if I can find it quick. Scrolling up through the Evolution Cup. So 1500 limit, only Pokemon that have already evolved and can evolve once more.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, getting those with some boosts makes sense.
So I think they did that just to balance out that meta. So I'm gonna. There are just so many of these move updates. I'm gonna highlight some of the winners that I think.
Yep.
This update, and first on that list is Lantern. Lantern getting Surf is the biggest winner. The move pool rebalance. You don't have to land the Hydro Pump anymore. Like you can do these Surfs and just get chip damage, pulling shields with them. It's got a lot more play against things that used to be like a complete heart wall. Like you take G-Fisk or Queen and like give them one shield and Lantern's toast. But with Surf, you can hit back now, and you can actually flip some of those in certain shield scenarios.
Yeah, you can put pressure on.
So I love it. I have not gotten a chance to run it very much. I don't personally, I don't enjoy running stuff that can get like completely hard-walled. So it's still useless against grass types, right?
Yeah, totally.
So that's kind of why I haven't run it yet, and that's actually partially why I've been running some Venu in my battle league sets the past couple days. People are using Lantern,
those lanterns.
and yep. But another positive for it. Water Gun becomes more of a usable fast move for it. Um, Water Gun is similar to Bug Bite in the fact that it's a perfectly average move. But with Lantern relying so much on double nukes, it was really, really hard to run Water Gun. But
Yeah,
now with
because
Surf,
you needed that faster energy that Spark gave to get to those nukes faster.
exactly. And now you've got a move that is perfectly good at generating energy still. You're not getting to multiple nukes, but you're putting on a lot more fast move pressure. And yeah, I just like that it both builds are viable now.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I would totally agree to that. It was interesting because I noticed pre-update because I was running Lantern right near the end of last season, just kind of spice up because I thought it would be kind of fun. Maybe an anti, it's good against it would deal with Skarmory, it would deal with Talonflame and
yep,
things like that, and
and Wolverine.
yeah, and it was ranked like 110, and then I happened to look at PvP Poke like right after the move updates, and it jumped to like 11, so it
Yep,
gained like
it's
100 points.
it was a huge winner, and I'm here for it. I like it. Um, that move has been one that a lot of influencers have been calling for Lantern to get for a long time, um, and they surprisingly did it. And it's good. It's a meta shakeup, and those are welcome with how stale the meta's been the past year.
Oh, I
Um,
would definitely agree.
uh, Piggybacking off of that, another water type that has gotten a new lower energy move is Tentacruel with Scald. Now, this is
Mm-hmm.
another one people were calling give it surf, give it surf, give it surf. They didn't, but Scald is a decent second place. With
I would agree.
the uh, chance to nerf the or debuff the opponent's attack, it's really nice. Only thing is, and it kind of works a little bit for Tentacruel. Both of the moves are either are super high energy, like I mean it's not Hydro Pump anymore, but Acid Spray and Scald are 45 and 50 energy respectively. It's not pumping those out quickly. Um,
No, no, it
but
isn't.
it's still a quality update, and I have seen it run in Battle League, and it's it's viable now. I had one built for something in Silph, didn't end up running it, but yeah, I'd TM that right away. It'll be a fun one for people to run. A little spicy, but it's still a good update for it.
Yeah, yeah, I would totally agree. It's nice seeing Tentacruel get some love because I've used Tentacruel in the past, and the Poison Fang Acid Spray kind of try to beat people downward, but so many times it's like I'm tapping. I'm like I need to get that I need to get that Hydro Pump. And it just took too long, and
Yep.
you just got
Oh,
outraced.
it took forever.
You couldn't win the race, and you went down. Even just some
I
matches
mean,
where technically you were type positive, like it was actually a typing, but it just took so long to get the nuke off.
hmm yeah, yeah. The Even with Poison Jab being a good fast move, it just took forever to get to Hydro Pump. I mean, it there aren't many things that can rely on Hydro Pump. Azu's probably the only one that can actually rely on Hydro Pump to make it usable.
And that's only because Azu is a wall.
Yeah,
And,
stupid bulk, great typing, and yeah. So there's yeah, it. I'm glad that those Lantern and Tentacruel got to ditch Hydro Pump. Great for both of them. Um, Going into uh, the zero to hero of the move pool update, double getting double kick.
yeah, yeah,
I love it. It went from absolutely garbage, nobody had one saved, to hey, my rank 80 something that I saved for whatever reason, I can actually build this thing and use it now.
Well, that's funny because I have a hundo, and it 50s below 2500. I think you may
Yep.
be able to best buddy it as
It's
well.
gonna be a beast in Ultra League. It is, from what I've heard, it's gonna be a monster.
Uh,
But have fun with the XLs.
well, that's the funny thing is because I think I have around 110 XLs, and I wasn't going crazy for it. And Mrs. Cat Paws is she's the type of person, one of her goals for her is she wants to level 50 all of her hundos. So especially whenever anything new comes out, like she farms XL, her candy, like you look at her candy trading piles, like especially when that guaranteed trade, the things that she would want XLs for, and I'm like, why? But I'm like, but she has the XLs to 51. I don't. I'm like, I need the sheep to come back.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, tell her to build it. Drop the dust, build it, enjoy it. Well, nobody else has it. That's great. Um, it's the spam on that thing. You want to talk about crazy spam? Well, I mean, rollout still puts out body slam at the same rate as double kick does, but double kick's damage is a lot better.
Yeah, I would agree. I've
And yeah,
been double kicked
it's
so far, and it hurts.
just spam the slam, man. Spam the slam. But the big thing with double is which second move do you want to run? Because you've got two solid options.
Mm-hmm.
You've got wild charge and you got payback. Um, I actually ran a little bit of it in Open Great League with each one, and I it's tough because it's got that same charge move coverage that Sable Eye has, which when you think about it, that's pretty crazy. If you go payback
It
and
is.
body slam, um, thing is, payback just doesn't hit hard enough. Like it's better against the ghost types. It can one shot a Trevenant. Found that out. That was great. That was fun.
Nice.
Threw 2 shields, just lets it go. Ooh, good game, buddy. But
Boom.
yeah, it just in the neutral matchups, it just doesn't hit hard enough. And it takes 5 double kicks, 15 turns to get to it. So I mean, it's not a cheap move. But yeah, it with double kick not putting a whole ton of fast move pressure, it puts on more than rollout. But with it not putting on a ton of fast move pressure, it's really hard to run payback. You need it lined up on a ghost type for it to work well.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree there. I without having run it yet, but just kind of seen it. And then wild charge. I love wild charge. It's a great ledge check, but the automatic defense drop on it, it's really painful.
Yep. Yeah, it is. And again, without it being stab, I mean, it hits like a truck, but it's, you're gonna need to land 2 of them to get rid of most things. So there's a debate. I haven't fully decided yet. I'm leaning towards payback, mostly because I hate running debuff moves, like self debuff moves.
Yeah, me too.
It bothers me. I hate superpower with a passion, and
Yeah.
I try to avoid wild charge whenever I can.
And I'm just trying to think, like, most of the things that you're going to want to wild charge, you might as well just spam body slam into it and get the stab and not nuke your defense anyway. Because except like maybe something like Skarmory, Flying Steel, or a normal, or but even against something like Azu or annoying water type, you might as well just spam body slam into it.
Yep. Yeah. And another thing too, something that you want your normal types to be able to do is beat most ghost types. I mean, unless Vigoroth is the exception always,
yeah.
because it's a pseudo fighter type. But most normal types you want to be able to beat Ghost, and if you're running Wild Charge on double, you're losing to Trev. And that's just really hard to justify for me. You're losing to Trev. It's a lot less. It's unreliable against G-Fisk too. If you're running Wild Charge, everything but the fast moves resisted. So things that you would want something like double to do, it can't do with Wild Charge. Which is why I lean a little more towards Payback.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I actually just kind of had a thought jump in my brain. It's actually very terrifying, because especially because I know how you feel about Night Slash. But just like imagine Vigoroth with Night Slash, like Night Slash Body Slam Vigoroth.
No.
I don't think it's even its move pool. I don't think it's possibly an option, but I could just. That would be the scariest.
Man, I already don't like Vigoroth a little bit. I like running it. I don't like it being run against me. So
agreed.
But yeah, it's Don't give anything else Night Slash unless it gets that stupid double buff taken away. So
it'd still be a good move even if they just made it like a single buff.
Yeah. I agree. I would be more okay with it if it was single, but more nightmares. But next one I want to talk about, it's actually one that I haven't seen come out too much yet in Great League, and that's Steelix with Psychic Fangs.
Okay, I heard a bit about this.
I was scrimming with Logan. I can't remember if it was last night or 2 nights ago, and he brought this thing like 3 battles in a row, and it started pissing me off. Like, come on, this is resisted. Why? Yeah, it's good. Like, it gets there quick, and with Dragon Tail being such a good neutral fast move, with it pumping out those Psychic Fangs, even in bad matchups, it's chunking things. Even fighting types, like, speaking of the cup that we're running for this month in Thunderdome,
I saw that.
Custom Meta, Logan primarily and myself were the 2 who designed it. After the move shake up, Logan was like, hey, we need to ban Steelix, and I'm like, really? Fighting types are so common and we need to ban it? He's like, yeah, with Psychic Fangs it's beating everything. I was like, oh man, yeah. So it got the ban.
I was kind of interested. But that makes sense, yeah. Because I haven't had a chance to use it yet. I have a Great Lead Steelix. I've never really run it, but I'm actually looking forward to running it with Psychic Fangs.
Yeah, it's solid. I mean, it doesn't do all the things you'd expect a round Steel type to do. Like, it struggles with fairies. Mainly just because the resisted fast move, and you're either taking forever to get to Earthquake, or Psychic Fangs is the Poison Fang clone, and it's not like killer, but the debuff is good, so it still struggles a little bit with some of those fairies, and but it's gonna be good, and I think it's kind of the sleeper. Nobody's talking about it, but I'm gonna try it out at some point this week.
Okay, sounds good. I just want to mention this because Logan mentioned here. This might give you nightmares. Vig does get Night Slash as an egg move in the MSG. So future Community Day ?
Oh God, no. Please don't. Logan, you can't go work for Niantic ever. Not allowed. Oh man. Next thing I want to talk about is Dunsparce. I actually, with all the dust I spent on building new things, double wheezing. There's one other one I built. Can't remember right now. But anyways, with all the dust that I spent, I wasn't able to build my Dunsparce I was able to get it up to like 1100 and double move it.
Okay.
But I have seen a couple go against me in Battle League. As much as I wanted Dunsparce to be win in this update, it's still a little underwhelming. It can get to Drill Run and Rock Slide fast. Drill Run and Rock Slide, that's just crazy good coverage. It's got excellent charge moves. Rollout gets there quickly. And the problem with it is, though, the Dunsparce isn't super high attack, so you gotta land multiple charge moves, and rollout isn't doing hardly any fast move damage. So it's kind of in that same boat as I had mentioned with Miltank, and the spam not being a concern, because it just moves don't hit hard enough.
It doesn't have the damage pressure.
No, I think, I can't remember what I was running, but it tanked 2 drill runs, and still KO'd Dunsparce. I don't remember what it was, but it doesn't scare me. The coverage is great, but it's still a little underwhelming.
Because I see Excadrill in, especially in Master League. I'm terrified. Like, so I've never been able to get Excadrill to work for me because it's so glassy, and I've never been able to shield properly. But like, people who know how to play Excadrill well, they just destroy things with it.
Yes, that's that high attack weight on it. Just those moves hit hard. And Dunsparce is the other way around. Dunsparce, can't remember the stat distribution, but it's either HP or defense weighted, and it just doesn't hit hard enough to scare me. So, yeah, it's good. It was a good update for Dunsparce, but it doesn't bring it into primary meta.
All right, good.
I'm sure it'll have play in a Silph Cup at some point. So I'm still gonna.
I'm sure
gonna test it out. But yeah, not one I'm super scared of in Open Great League.
Yeah, I think one of the things about Dunsparce that's interesting is if you bring it in, especially if you play it maybe like early, like when the low ranks, or in some big tournament with like a lot of people in it, because especially with a lot of like newer, like less experienced trainers, you know, when you first look at Dunsparce, you think it looks like a bug Pokemon, but it's a normal type, and a lot of people, it's awesome. They just look at it, they don't look at like the actual typing in the corner. They think, oh, it's a bug. I'm gonna go to this, and I'm like, no, it's normal.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people don't realize some of the typing stuff. Like, I was playing today, I was running a team I saw on Twitter. It was, what was it? Alolan Grimer, Sableye, and Buzzwole. Shout out to, I think it was Eastside Pastor who put that one out on Twitter.
Okay.
It was a fun team to play. But running Buzzwole, I had 3 or 4 times that people threw earthquakes at Buzzwole with Swampert. And I'm just like, why are you doing that? Bug resist ground. And it just blew my mind at how many times that happened. And it's not like I was playing in the low ranks. At least 3 of the 4 people that did that today had legend poses.
Okay.
And my jaw was just on the floor. I'm like, well, thanks for the win. Because they had it to a point where Hydro Cannon would have killed it.
Yeah.
They go for the earthquake, and I'm like, what are you doing? Just lost the battle. But I'll take the free wins.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't.
Crazy. People don't realize. People don't realize all those typing.
Well, they don't realize that bug resists ground. I think a lot of people kind of forget that.
Yep, they do, and yeah, I'll take advantage of it as long as I can.
And I think it's also because people also because a lot of the really good bug Pokemon have a typing that's also actually vulnerable to ground. Like you have Galvantula, which is electric bug, so it's not as resistant. Or you have what's it called?
Drill.
Beedrill, or you have the Ariados, poison. Like poison and both poison and electric are vulnerable to ground. So people just think, oh, like bug, I'm gonna earthquake, but it's not the bug that's vulnerable. It's the other typing.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of funny. We'll get into the tips to hit legend later, but that's one of them. Know your type matchups.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next, I think this is actually the last one I've got on my list for the moveset updates is Miltank, as we talked about a little bit earlier. It can now learn rollout, but I actually want to run tackle on it instead. I'd talked about before with rollout the minimal fast move pressure. It doesn't do it for me. The spam is good, but I'd rather take that fast move pressure that tackle can put on.
Well, because it tackles a normal move, and you also get the stab bonus with the normal typing.
Exactly, and that makes it actually better than rollout in my opinion. You're a little bit slower on the body slam spam, and I think it does cost you a couple of matchups against ghost types, but that's one I'm willing to run with tackle instead of rollout.
Yeah, it's interesting because now that the change came out, I'm actually, if I see Miltank spawn, I'm actively trying to find one, because I only have 2 Miltanks in my collection right now. I have a garbage shiny, which took me forever to get the blue shiny. It took me ever to get the thing, and then I have a hundo, but the hundo maxes over 2,500, so I don't have any PvP statted Miltank. I never thought to keep it. I'm like, what? Because I always thought I always used to use the joke of like, give Miltank discharge, because it was it was gross, but yeah.
I spent that spotlight hour grinding, catching every single one. I did not get anything even top 1,000 for Great League, so I trashed them all. Find one before they fix this thing. Nope. Nope. I'm still sitting on a shiny with 15 attack and a hundo. So I'm just out of luck until I find one. So yeah, none of my anecdotes about Miltank are from experience. They're from Sims and what I've seen in Battle League.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to be looking for them if I target them when I'm out playing. Gonna definitely be focusing on making sure I have the XL candy for Miltank. Actually, let's look what I found here. I'm at 163 XLs, and I'm pretty sure you need a 50 of the thing for Ultra League, so I've got a ways to go.
Yep. Yeah, I don't remember what I'm at. I'm at 220, so not super far away,
but still, that's a lot of candy to grind.
Not happening yet. Yeah. So those were my main points about all of the things that got new moves. I think if it's okay with you, might be a decent time to open up any questions about things that I didn't talk about that got new moves. Oh wait, sorry, I've got 2 more I want to talk about. Hit the pause button there. Dragonair and Dragonite. Those 2 also got big move updates. I've been seeing Dragonair a lot with Body Slam. Great safe switch. And it's spammy, and it's got decent bulk. I think it will see a lot more play in Open Great League now. Another thing that Logan ran against me, and I got real pissed off, so I ran Double Charm. I was like, I'm gonna find that thing and I'm gonna kill it. But yeah, he flipped switch on me like 3 games in a row with it, and I'm like, all right, you're obviously doing this as a safe switch. I'm running Double Charm in the back. See how you like it now. Yeah, so
Nothing's better when someone switches to a big, powerful dragon, and you go, "Okay, I got charm."
Yep. Yep. Delete. Goodbye. You can have one body slam. Um, but yeah, that was a great move update for Dragonair because you're kind of caught between, do I want to run Wrap for that coverage, and that's a subpar move, or do I want to run Dragon Pulse, which is a little more expensive, but you get the stab.
Yeah.
I think now with the double low energy moves that provide that great coverage, Dragonair, it can really shine. Yeah, with the fast move pressure that Dragon Breath puts on just about anything that isn't a fairy or steel type. Yeah, those fast moves add up, and then Body Slam, great move. Aqua Tail, solid move that just you can beat things down. I like it. I haven't used it much yet, but it'll be one that I want to use.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I'm gonna take your suggestion, and we're gonna go over to some questions from the chat. Scott Wilbert came on here and mentioned, what about Kabalion and Ultra League, and that's basically all the other fighting beasts that got the double kick bonus.
Yeah, so I primarily do Great League, so sorry if I neglect Ultra and Master a little bit. But yes, the Swords of Justice, it wasn't originally announced that they were going to get double kick, but when the update pushed, people TM'd it, and there it was. They're great winners in Ultra League, and not as much in Master League. They've got some play, but it's not like they're broken or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ultra League, they're going to be good, and you need to re-roll some IVs on those.
Yeah, I would definitely agree, and it's nice seeing. That's actually one of the biggest things about a lot of the legendaries that just they flopped because, and it's not really like the Pokemon Company's fault because they didn't design their game the way that Niantic put in the moves, but in their move pools, they just didn't have like good fast moves.
Yep. And Swords of Justice, I mean, you had Terrakion kind of got a little decent with Smackdown, but that's more of a weird niche raider. But yeah, now with double kick, they're going to be Virizion, especially Ultra League meta.
I definitely would agree. I want to take a moment here to thank all the viewers who have been sending in stars, liking, posting comments, sending in likes. I'm sorry I haven't been openly acknowledging them, but I'm trying to focus on the interview with Kaleb Schulz, Big Dude K here, and but I do appreciate them all, and I've been trying to like as many comments as I can. So just because I'm not shouting out, hey, thank you, like I usually do my battle streams, I'm definitely seeing them, and I want to say thank you to everyone who's watching and hanging out. Okay, a couple more comments here came in from our good friend Logan Party Panda. He said he hated your double charm.
Yep, good. That's what it was intended to do.
Dragonite makes... I also agree Dragonite with Superpower is a more interesting, viable a second move there in Master League, because against a lot of like steel, like Melmetal, it's some other anti-flying steel options. Superpower is kind of another good move there. So, Superpower Dragon Claw. You don't have to try to go for the big nuke of Hurricane or Outrage. So I like that as well. But like you said earlier in a previous, I also like, we don't, I think we're both on the same page. We don't like debuff moves like Superpower. Hits great, but as soon as you Superpower once, it basically kills your Pokemon. You have to switch out and escape.
Yeah. Interesting thing about Dragonite. So, Superpower is not even stab on it, but a Superpower from Dragonite can take out like 65% of a Bastiodon, which is absolutely insane. Shadow Dragonite. So you're drawing a shield with Dragonite off a Bastiodon. which I find that's absolutely crazy in Great League. Um, so it's a little more usable. I've seen a couple spicy people running it, and yeah, it's interesting. I like it.
I would definitely agree. And I want to answer Scott Wilbert's question here again. Yes, this will be uploaded to YouTube in its entirety. I'm also planning to put all these podcasts streams on YouTube as new YouTube content. So, and it will also be replayable on the Facebook page as well if you happen to join us midstream. Um, and thank you so much, everyone, for all the questions and the comments so far. This has definitely been a lot of fun and one of my favorite new streams that we're doing here. Um, One thing I kind of want to go back because we didn't really talk too much. We kind of got sidetracked off on a huge tangent, and then we kind of kept going down. I kind of want to go back to Walrein and the nerf there because, like you said, and I saw this right after Spiel Community Day. Walrein just like took over Go Battle League, Great League, and Ultra League. And like you said, like a lot of people were even like, man, like Icicle Spear, this thing actually isn't that good. Like, why is it ranked 2 and 3? Like, it's not very good. And the answer to that, and I think you'd probably concur with me, is because everyone was countering Walrein. Everyone had at
Yep.
least two, quite often two double Walrein counters. So it was like when Walrein first came out, everyone was punishing. It was the same thing when Talonflame came out. Everyone was running Bastion
Mm-hmm.
and like Bastio and other things to just take these new Pokemon. It usually happens after Community Day. Whatever the new hotness is, everyone usually plays that Pokemon / counters the heck out of it.
Yes. I actually, when Walrein came out, I ran triple counter for like a week. So I was like, I'm not dealing with this thing everywhere. I ran Deoxys Defense, Vigoroth, Obstagoon for a week. Like,
Yeah. So,
people want to run it, have fun.
mm-hmm. Like I have to say, like when Walrein kind of things kind of calmed down, but it still seemed like you had to have at least one Walrein counter in whatever team you built. You had to be able to deal with Walrein
Mm-hmm.
because it was everywhere. The things I liked about Walrein when it came out is it definitely put a lot of people, because at that time I feel like a lot of people were Poison Fang Nidoqueen was kind of taking over the meta. I
Oh,
felt like
yes.
so
Yep.
I feel like that Walrein really kind of shoved Nidoqueen. It's not Nidoqueen still played a lot, and it's still a very powerful Pokemon, but it definitely pushed it back. But I feel like um, Walrein then kind of took everything over. So like I said, it's not like made horrible and unplayable. It's just kind of not like you can actually maybe make a team that maybe doesn't have to focus on I got to be able to beat Walrein. I got to be able to beat Walrein. Like I have to be able to beat Walrein.
Yeah. You want to know something crazy?
Always.
With this Icicle Spear nerf, Walrein can't beat Nidoqueen anymore in the 2 shield.
Hmm.
It loses in the 2 shield because they pace each other, and Nido wins CMP.
Hmm.
That's
Good.
regular Nido
That's good to know.
over regular and Shadow Walrein. So, you know, like that's kind of where you're gonna see the nerf and how you're gonna see the meta shift. Nidoqueen is coming back, and it's coming back with a vengeance.
It is. I would agree there, especially after what you just told me there, because I totally didn't realize that. Um, question here from Joseph Matthew Thiel. You covered this like really early on. Maybe you don't have to don't go into like the full spiel again, but maybe kind of just highlight it. He says, "What do you think about Galarian Weezing with the Fairy Wind?" Obviously, it's in the earlier part of the podcast, but
Yeah,
you can just kind of note it.
it's fun. I liked landing the overheat nuke on some steel types that thought they had it hard countered. But the thing I don't like about it is it loses to Sableye in the 2 shield. Like, Sableye can outpace it, and all they have to do is land a foul play, and it's over with all the Shadow Claw damage. And if I'm running a fairy in Open Great League and it can't beat Sableye, then I shouldn't be running it, in my opinion. Sableye is so meta defining that if your Sableye counter can't do what it's supposed to, then you have no business running it in Great League.
Well put. 100% agree. So I think that kind of...
It's fun. I did run it, though. I did run it, and I had some fun with it. I ran it for, I want to say 3 or 4 sets, but yeah, the win rate was not good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good to know, because I was actually thinking about investing a bunch. I actually needed to get a better... I don't really have a Great League one. I was going to start doing some trades and trying to get some IVs for it. I've been raiding it, kind of in-person raids. I haven't been remoting it, but I've been raiding it whenever I have my green passes or my free of the day passes. So good to know. I probably will still build it for fun, because it's absolutely hilarious Pokemon.
Yes.
Just the art and the typing. It's a very fun Pokemon, but it's definitely not going to be like my top priority for resource management.
Honestly, I would say still build it, because we could see it get another move in the future in a move pool update. And I think what it's missing right now is a low energy fairy type charge move.
Yeah, that or a poison move, because it's also a poison type.
It gets sludge, but like sludge is just a bad move.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure. Well, and Poison Fang, I don't know if that Poison Fang would be good on it. I'm not sure if it even has it as an option.
I don't think so. I don't think it would be good on it. Another move that the community had been asking for it to get is Incinerate as a fast move, and that would make it really interesting. But yeah, right now I think what it's missing is a low energy fairy charge move to go along with Fairy Wind.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Something more spammy.
Yep.
So I think this would be let's switch over here and let's talk, because I know a lot of people are waiting to hear, because obviously you hit Legend every season, you hit like Elite this season, you do amazing in the Silph tournaments, and you're ranked really highly on Silph. So I think a lot of people want to know, how do you do it?
Oh man. All right. So, it took a long time, honestly. I have not hit Legend in every single season. It took me until season 6 to finally hit it, and I started playing right at the beginning. I think it was it did like I don't know, like a Battle League preseason thing where they kind of introduced it, and then in the first like official season, I think I got close to Expert. I want to say I hit Expert. Can't remember though. And then I didn't come close in the next couple seasons. Part of it was I was running a really stupid team. Back right at the beginning, I was running Lucario, Togekiss, and some rotation of either Hypno or Azu, something actually decent in the back.
Okay.
But those first two were so classy, and it was just so stupid. But yeah, it was that was a little bit of a rough team to run, and that was partially why I struggled. And then starting out, I didn't know the move type matchups as well, because I was Go was my first game, so I wasn't super. I didn't have them memorized yet, and for the longest time, the hardest typing I had problems with was getting what poison was super effective against and what hit poison for super effective. For whatever reason, right at the start, I thought poison hit psychic super effective, but it's the other way around. Yeah, and so I learned that one real quick when I swapped a poison type into Hypno.
Ouch.
Yeah, so I was not good when I started out. I actually had somebody in my local server, not the Thunderdome, the one I had initially joined for southeastern Wisconsin. He was the one actually running the Thunderdome at the time, and I picked his brain nonstop about, hey, would this work on a team? Is this Pokemon going to be good? What should I run? And it was I did not do it by myself. I had to learn from other people. Um, he helped me through learning the typing matchups. That's embarrassing now to say, but yes, I had to learn the typing matchups.
Well, honestly, I think we all did, because I went on, and I originally did this because I was playing actually I started playing the Let's Go Pikachu Eevee Switch game that was kind of paired with Go, that allowed you to get the Meltem box as well. But I didn't know all my type matches. Like some of them kind of made sense, like grass and electric beat water.
Yeah.
Like things make sense. But like some of them, I was like, I was losing. So I went on the internet and I found like this, printed it off like this, and I have it in a like one of those like a big kind of plastic sleeves you can put a whole sheet of paper in, and it had all the type matches. It showed like what it was neutral to, what it was super effective and super effective against, and I literally had it like next to me, like it was my little cheat sheet.
I had to do that too. That was one of the things that Jake gave me. It's like, hey, just have this next to you when you're battling. It'll help. And eventually I did memorize the move typings. That's obviously one of the basics. You have to learn those if you want to have any sort of success in Battle League. Another big one is know what moves the Pokemon you're playing against have. Like, so another little embarrassing one. I had Continentals this past weekend for North America, and I actually lost a match because I hadn't played against an Overquill. I hadn't built one yet.
Okay.
I didn't know what moves it had. And I safe swap a Medicham into Overquill, and I get hit with a Shadow Ball, and I was not expecting that. And that cost me that set.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I'm not perfect. It still happens to me every once in a while where I'm like, man, I didn't realize I knew that move. But the main meta Pokemon, you have to know what moves they have, what moves they're likely to be running. And yeah, that's another one of the real basic things. I know a lot of you know a lot of these basic things, so I'll get into some of the more difficult ones to do.
But just to touch on what you said there, like a lot of people who ask me on my streams, like, what can I do to get better? What can I do to and the two things like I mentioned first, like before you worry about like learning to count moves and all the other like more deeper strategy things, is know your type matching and know what moves, like especially the main meta, what you're up against, because that's how you know, like, when to switch to take a hit, when not to shield, when to shield. Like if you, because if you're in a favorable match and you don't know it and you're throwing up shields and you could be taking the hits, you're just throwing away your shields.
Exactly. Yeah, and like I said, it even happens to top tier players. Somebody pulls some spice out, you don't know what move they have, and you just get smacked like I did. It was actually your buddy from up in your area, Mr. Rubik's Master, that got me on it. He was the one running Overquill, hit me with the Shadow Ball, and I was like, ooh. And the thing is, too, that's what its recommended move is, so I should have known. But I hadn't played against it, haven't run it myself, haven't built it, so, live and learn.
Yeah, for sure.
That's on me, gotta be better prepared. But, yeah, going into some of the more advanced things, move counting. That has, when Battle League first started, move counting wasn't as important as it is now. Part of the reason is because the matchups of the Pokemon back then, it was pretty cut and dry. This is going to beat this no matter what. Umbreon's going to beat no matter what, unless you get focus blasted. But yeah, it was very cut and dry back then. This beats this, this beats this, this beats this. The way the game has been designed now, with everything having such great coverage, you have to know the move counts. Like, there are times in battles where I'm counting moves and somebody very clearly does not have the move that can deal super effective damage. For example, Stunfisk, Galarian Stunfisk, and say I'm farming it down with a Metacham. You've got Rock Slide, which isn't gonna, Metacham's just gonna shake that off, versus Earthquake, which is gonna hurt.
Yep.
If I know, hey, I get to an Earthquake before I can knock him out, I know I'm not shielding. But if you're not counting moves and you're relying on just instinct, you're like, ooh, I know he's close to an Earthquake. Is he there? Is he not? That's an advantage that you get when you're move counting. You're like, no, I know that was 6 mud shots. I know he needed 7 more to get to an Earthquake. It's not coming. It's a Rock Slide. I can tank this. And you're saving your shields. That's a huge one. Also, another even more advanced strategy with move counting is if you're keeping track of their energy. And you know that they are going to get a move off before you can KO them. Like, say, we'll take that Stunfisk versus Metacham matchup, for instance. You know they're going to get the Earthquake off before you can get to an Ice Punch, the KO.
Yeah.
You let them get the Earthquake off. You shield it, or don't shield it, depending on game situation or whatever. But after that, don't KO it as fast as you can, because those mud shots aren't adding up. Take as much farm as you can off of that before you have to KO it. So it gets to that Earthquake, but you can farm 6 or 7 more counters before you have to throw a move to KO it. And that is a ton of energy. That's something that a lot more people are learning how to do, and it's high level. Gaining as much energy as you can before KOing something.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I personally have been struggling with, is KOing targets instead of farming them down. Other times I get in the position where I get greedy and I try to farm, and then they end up pulling a move because I've lost track of the count. And one thing I'm better at tracking count and energy when I'm not streaming and I'm just 100% focused on just my phone. But when I'm watching chat, I'm trying to like be entertaining, be interacting. It's harder, and that's one of the things that I'm personally trying to do is maintain that focus on the energy, plus still try to do everything else, because I don't want to be the guy who's like literally just sit there and like you're literally just watching me completely ignore you, and I'm just like, that's not streaming to me.
Yeah, I know that's a tough balance to strike. I know there are times I lose track of move counts because I'm battling in an environment with distractions. Like for super big battles in tournaments and whatnot, I go somewhere where it's completely quiet. I'm not going to get distracted, and I can just laser focus on the battle and what I need to do to win. So that helps a lot. And when you're able to accurately keep track of how much energy they have, like if I'm just casually doing my Battle League sets, I'm not keeping track of the exact energy of every mon. Like if they swap it out, sometimes I'll remember, hey, it was close to this move, but I don't. That's just me. I don't always keep track. Oh, it was exactly this Nidoqueen was at exactly 6 poison jabs of energy. It just goes in the back of my mind. Okay, I know it's got a poison jab loaded. Like,
Yeah.
I don't keep
Yeah,
that
I'm the same.
close of attention in Battle League. But if I'm doing Silph, I lock in and I know exactly how much energy everything has.
Yeah, that makes sense because also like in Silph, like yes, the overall skill and quality of battlers has definitely improved. But you definitely, especially when you're doing those high level like invitational level tournaments where you have to like win a spot in them or something, like everyone there it knows what they're doing.
Yep. Yeah, and it's, I mean, like in Continentals or whatever, you got to be locked in for, I think it was like 5 hours straight. So it's a drain in some of those tournaments to be absolutely laser focused for the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's, I struggled with that on Saturday. I was good through the first 2 matches, and then in the third match my focus kind of started to waver, and then it was downhill from there. But it's hard for the live tournaments to keep the focus for that long.
Oh, for sure. It takes a lot of like mental energy.
Yes. And of course my first 2 battles, my first 2 opponents, I get paired with BigDudeK78, who is the number 2 battler in the world in Silph, and then Peter von Bernal, who's the number 18 battler in Silph. Those were my first 2 matches. So right out of the gate,
those aren't easy matches.
And those drained me. And that's, I think, part of the gap between where I'm at and where guys like that are at is they've got the mental stamina to keep up for these full tournaments, where I lost out after those 2 because they were draining. But yeah, back to Battle League specific, that was a little more Silph specific. You can learn to count your moves, count their moves, and know when things are coming. That's huge. It is so huge for understanding your energy, where things are at, understanding when moves are coming, so you can catch. Because catching is another big skill that takes time, and if you don't know your move counts, you can't do it right. I mean, I know some people who go based off of feeling, but it's really, really tough to be able to do it without knowing your move counts.
Yeah, well, actually, that thing is you just saying that they're like going off by feeling. That's me. Like that's how I've pretty much did go Battle League, up until like I kind of knew counts, but like it was this weird feeling intuition, and it worked well for me, especially with streaming, up until season 9, because I hit Legend season 9, 8, and 7. Season 10, I missed Legend by literally 30 points. I got to like 29, like 67, and then I just hit a wall and I fell back, and I think I dropped like a couple hundred points in a couple sessions, and I was like, and then I literally ran out of time, and I didn't have enough time to regain. And then we had the interlude season, and then we all know about the last season 11.
Yeah, it's the catching. I know there are people who can do it without knowing the move counts, and it baffles my mind. Like, I have to know when the moves are coming, and once you get to a certain level of it too, people expect you to catch. So knowing, hey, I know they're going to try to catch once I get exactly to this move. I need to over farm so that what they catch on doesn't actually catch the move, and I can just farm it out.
Yeah.
Like, that's another one. Like,
that's a big one.
That comes in more so with recognizing win conditions.
Mm-hmm.
which is another high-level skill that you want to be able to develop to be able to reach legend. So, um, there's a battle I had today. For example, I had my the team I was running was Venu, Sableye, G-Fisk, and my opponent, um, they had, I can't remember what their first one was, but I know G-Fisk was going to have to sweep. They had Altaria and Tentacruel in the back. But, Tentacruel now has that nice new move, Scald, and
Mm-hmm.
Fisk can't get hit with that now. Like, it would have taken too much and I wouldn't have been able to sweep. Um, but understanding, hey, there's no way I can get to 2 Earthquakes without taking Scald from Tentacruel, and I still need health to be able to kill the Altaria. I have to bait. That's my only win condition, is if I can correctly bait.
Yep.
And then it becomes a 50-50 call. Do you throw the Earthquake first, that they know their win condition is calling your bait, or do you bait and hope that they're scared and are expecting the Earthquake? That's the win condition recognizing is the next step with move counting, because you have to know I need to do this many moves. Sometimes it's as complicated as I need to do 6 counters on this Pokemon and then throw a move immediately, and then I need to, as soon as that move goes off, I need to swap and catch the move that they're going to throw when they come back in.
Yep.
Like, it gets really complicated sometimes.
It does.
But understanding, and it's like chess. It's a lot of people just play in the matchup right now. Like, okay, my Venu is on Sableye. How can I win Venu on Sableye? Sometimes you don't want to win that. Sometimes you want to leave farm down because, hey, my only win condition is if I can get to this move by farming down their second to last Pokemon and getting an energy lead on the last one. That's the only way I can win. And that comes with both.
Hello?
It's tough.
I think you cut out there. I got you had you on it's both and then it's tough.
Oh, sorry. So it's tough to use a Pokemon that you've never used before and just go right in and win with it.
I'd agree, 100%.
It comes with knowing or recognizing your win conditions comes with both knowing the Pokemon you're using and just repetition. The more times you battle, the more times you see other players, oh, this was how they won this situation. This is how I should have played it differently to avoid them winning. And then, it's something I try to actively think of in every battle I do, no matter what. What do I need to do to win this?
Yeah.
There's some teams out there you can run where you don't need to do that.
Oh,
Double
totally.
Charm, Grass Hole. You can just tap, 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 and you can win.
Yeah.
But if you're running, especially with teams that have a lot of neutral matchups, so teams where you're running Sableye, it's the safest Pokemon in the game, but it's also the hardest one to run because you have to know every single neutral matchup.
Okay. And that actually brings me into a question that's been sitting here on the chat for a while from Scott Wilbert. And he says, I don't have a Sableye and I don't have Metachan, and I get hard countered with Sableye and Metachan. What could I do for counters?
Hard counter to Sableye and Metacham.
There's Azu, probably my thinking is.
Yeah, Azu. if you've got one XL, as much as I hate to say it, a Charmer, and yeah, that's as far as what hits both of those. Charmers, a Fairy type is what you need.
Yeah, I'd have to agree to that one. I personally,
I've got another one for you that's
okay.
a little bit more accessible. Any normal flying type. So you're looking Noctowl or
Pidgeot.
Good. Yeah. Either of those can hit both Sableye and Medicham really hard. Both with resisting Sableye, so resisting the Shadow Claws is big, double resisting, and then hitting Medicham with the super effective flying moves. I would recommend Noctowl. It's a little easier to play because Pidgeot, you've got the bait debuff, and then you've got the nuke. It's self debuff, nuke, Brave Bird, which that gets tough to play. You got to play some mind games with that. So I would recommend Noctowl.
Yeah, I definitely agree there.
I mean, that one's a little bit easier to get than an XL, a Zoo, or on Sableye, or fairies are easy enough to get, but Noctowl I really like.
Yeah, Noctowl's a good one, and it doesn't get as much play as you think it would, but it definitely it is a strong Pokemon. And now that you have Walrein getting debuffed, a little one less anti-flyer with the ice to worry about too.
Yep. Yeah, and I like it too because it can hit back against those steel types with Shadow Ball. If you're no shielding a Shadow Ball in your Registeel or G-Fizz, you're getting chunked. It's not an easy win. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Yep, very, very good, very good. Thank you so much for that. Great question there from Scott Wilbert. Logan also says, Wigglytuff, also Venu is solid options for Sableye. Yep. Because Venusaur wins CMP on Sableye, correct?
Yep. So yes, actually, funny thing today, I was running that Venu team I was talking about. Somebody had an attack weighted Sableye, and I lost the CMPs, and I was a little ticked off about that. I had Venu in the lead because I've been seeing all Sableye, Medicham, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna run Venu in the lead as Sableye, Medicham, and a Zoo. Those were the 3 I was seeing in the lead. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna run Venu all today. I get a Sableye, and they freaking win the CMP on me, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But it doesn't win it in all scenarios, but it does in most.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. All right, so so we've kind of covered hitting legend. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it. You covered a lot of things, a lot of it like move counting, a lot of more advanced strategies, memorizing, remembering where your opponent's is at for energy, making sure you're not actually taking out a Pokemon right away, and using your ability to farm down and gain extra energy for the next Pokemon you have to fight. And those advanced strategies. Anything else you want to kind of cover, or with that, or?
Yeah, I've got a couple other things. Not necessarily strategy-wise, but just tips. If you're seriously looking to hit legend, you have to play with battlers that are more skilled than you are. You're not going to get better beating people that you can beat all the time. Like, if you, like, say I'm a professional athlete and I want to win whatever championship, and I just go play against college athletes. Is that going to make me better? Probably not. So if you want to really get good and get skilled enough to hit legend, you have to play with people who are higher skilled than you. It makes you better.
And I would definitely recommend, and I think you'd say this, probably gonna say the same thing. That's where I would definitely add Silph competitions and like competitive tough ones, like join the Thunderdome server, because Rise to Occasion, yourself, and a lot of other really good battlers are on there. If you can battle against the best, your skill's going to go up. You might not become the best, but you're definitely going to be upping your game.
I mean, Logan is a very good example. So he didn't know I was going to talk about him, but he started Silph 5 months ago. That's right, Logan. 5 months, something like that. You have 5 months experience in Silph, and he was a legend battler before, but as far as in Silph, he was brand spanking new. First month he struggled a little bit, if I remember right, and then ahead of the second month, we got into a conversation about team building, and we were talking, did some scrims, and ended up changing one of the Pokemon he was using. I think in that tournament he switched to Melodic. Is that right, Logan? Am I thinking of the right one?
He says
I don't have chat up.
He says, February/March I joined.
Yeah, and then fast forward 2 months, and he's sweeping Rise to Occasion, and he also swept, maybe not swept, but I think he beat Abhinav, who's another top 10 in the world.
Wow.
And the joke was running at the Legend Killer, because these guys were already legend in Silph, and here comes Logan just running through them left and right. Like he took to heart that he needed to battle against people better than him, and he did through our live tournaments in Thunderdome. And he is a quick learner. I'm not taking credit for, hey, he battled in Thunderdome and all of a sudden he can beat the best in the world. He was a good battler to start with, but he started battling against some top tier talent, and he got better, and now he's knocking down some of the best in the world pretty consistently.
And honestly, that's pretty amazing. And just to mention Logan Party Panda as well, he actually he DM'd me on Discord the other day. He was asking if he for permission, which is to post your guys' Silph tournament you guys came up with on my Discord to try to bring some more battlers. And of course I said yes, go for it. And then I actually signed up for the tournament, and he sent me a long message. I read through it. It was very heartwarming for me, because and I had no idea. This blew me away, because Party Panda, he arrived in one of the last few Silph Cat Paws Open tournaments that I was running, and I just assumed that he came over from the Thunderdome, which he kind of did, and you kind of brought him over. But he told me, fun fact, that he was actually like a long-time viewer of my channel, my content, and he'd played all the Pokemon games before Go, and he was very well versed in the kind of Pokemon battles in the main series games and type matching, and it didn't take him too long to figure out kind of how Go worked. But he accredited a lot of his early learnings to PvP to me, which honestly blew my mind, because I had never seen him chat. He was never in the chat or on my Discord. He kind of just appeared, and I thought he was. So when I learned that and he said and he had some kind words to say, because he appreciates my content and everything that I do in my community, and kind of gave me some consoling stuff about, because I've had a pretty tough last season and not hitting my goals of wanting to get back to Legend, and so I know, Logan, you're still here, and I just want to say thank you for that message. It meant so much, and Yeah, I know. You mentioned want to do some practice matches stuff, and I definitely down for that. So yeah, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Means so much for that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see guys who are new come in and hit that learning curve uh, so quickly. Like, I mean, it's not going to happen for everybody, and I'm not promising that you're going to be world class right away. It's going to take work, but putting yourself in those situations where you can play people who are better than you, it's going to help you. Trust me. It's I myself personally, I was pretty in Battle League for the first 4 seasons, um, and I never got close to Legend in those seasons. But I did start doing Silph in, I want to say it was June 2020, something like that. But right away, I mean, first tournament I got paired with Rise, and it was before he was big. It's before his takeoff. But like I still just joining Silph, I faced a good number of players who are world class right away, and um, it really helped me grow as a battler too. I didn't get there as fast as Logan did, um, but yeah,
Yeah,
you
Logan
need to
said
battle those.
he acclaimed it to like a light bulb moment in his head, like it just clicked. And it was like, bang. But yeah, he literally said it was like a light bulb moment going off in his head, like da da.
Yeah, I would say it felt the same way for me. It just took me a lot longer. Like I would say light bulb clicked for me last December.
Yeah.
Um, and that was really when I kicked it into high gear in Silph,
Mm-hmm.
and started winning a lot of these 4, 5, 6 round tournaments. And it was just a light bulb because when you start understanding um, what moves Pokemon have, how much energy they cost, what their fast moves are, you can start translating some of that knowledge um, cross Pokemon to stuff you've never even seen before. And that was kind of the light bulb moment for me.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to think of an example here. Um, shoot, I'm blanking on examples now, but like um, just understanding how moves generate energy, um, and how many it takes to get there. It Once it started translating across Pokemon, I think is when it kind of clicked for me, and I started understanding the win conditions better
Yeah.
and whatnot. But it takes a while.
It
You're
does.
not going to hit Legend overnight.
Oh, you're not, and yeah, that's really good advice. Like one thing I'm actually think I'm planning to do this season is I'm gonna get back to joining up in the Thunderdome tournaments, the especially your 72 hour ones, your 3 day ones, to do a round, because that kind of works for my schedule. Your live tournaments, like you
Yeah,
the timing for that one, unfortunately, when you start those, like I'm still at my
I
day
know.
job, so but I think I would definitely like to try to get into doing those, and for the longest time my whole thing was I didn't actually want to compete in my own tournaments because I was the whole idea of the Cat Balls Open was try to like get young battlers, people who are trying to learn, practice, and I was trying to like I didn't want to just like join in there and then just stomp everyone who I kind of wanted to get a bunch of these people that are all kind of at the same level. They can start battling each other and start working up, and then for a while there I said like the winner can take me on live on stream as like
Hmm.
an expedition match, but I didn't want to just jump in and be like and just like crush all my viewers and my followers, my fans.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a that's a good point. And what I've noticed, the general skill level of the um, average battler has gone up a ton
Oh, it has.
since Battle League has first started. Like, I know there are there were early on there were like the super elite battlers who could just crush anybody, and then you had some people there who were, I don't want to say like automatic wins for them, but some people just weren't at any kind of level to challenge those elite players for the first couple seasons of Silph, like before I was in Silph at all.
Okay.
I know that some of the people just absolutely crushed and dominated everybody. Um, but the general skill level now, you can't go into Silph and expect to beat somebody at a lower level than you just because they're a lower level than you.
I
Like
would, yeah.
it's there were times where it's like, oh, this person is battling this person. It's obvious person A is going to beat person B. But you can't do that anymore. It's there. The skill level is so high that anybody can beat anybody, and that's why you're seeing some of these top tier battlers in high profile tournaments like Continentals just struggle. I know every once in a while um, there are some legend battlers, um, legend Silph legend battlers uh, who will throw up a dud in one of the Thunderdome tourneys
Mm-hmm.
where they're the highest rank or close to the top. And like you didn't see that early on, but now the, anybody can beat anybody. It's the general skill level has gotten a lot higher. Also, to that point with GBL, um, just because you're not hitting legend doesn't mean you're not getting better. Like everybody who plays is getting better. The general skill level is so high now that it's a lot tougher to hit legend in the last couple of seasons than it was 4 or 5 seasons ago.
Oh, I 100% agree with you on that one. 100% agree. And I think what it really, one of the big things is like it kind of how it shifted, because when Go Battle League first came out and was in its early stages, it was literally just this beat this beat this. It was like, it was more just like a tight matching game, and if you could win the tight matching game and you could just win those matchups, you would win. But now, it's just become more, like I said, more of a neutral coverage game, and just like the managing energy, counting, farming, has become such a crucial aspect of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that, and there are a lot fewer people willing to run stuff that can get hard countered. Like, I mean, the Bastiodon users, they're out there all the time. That one's never going to go away. But there's, personally, I've had a draw towards the more neutral Pokemon, like Sableye. I've run Sableye for season after season just because I know there are some matchups I can flip. I know how much energy I need to flip them, just because Sableye is such a good neutral
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon.
I'm really excited that I finally actually have an XL purified Sableye, because for the longest time, because I put all my XL candy into my Shadow one first, because
Yeah.
it was more fun. But it was only until recently, these last few Go Fest and other events, where Sableye was spawning enough abundance that, and with the help of the guaranteed XL trade, that I was able to trade and farm up enough XL to get my purified XL one done.
Yeah, I miss running Shadow Sableye. That thing was so fun.
It's so
Yeah.
aggressive, but it's squishy.
And Trev and the meta shift just killed it, which hurt. That one was painful.
Yeah.
Because you build I think mine is level 49.5, and then I have to best buddy it to get it up to where it needs to be. And that's just brutal, investing that much in a Shadow just to see the meta shift, and then it's not usable anymore.
My Shadow is a solid level 50, 14.99.
Yeah, I think mine was 0, 11, 15, and so I needed the best buddy boost to get it close enough. But it was just so painful because it took forever to build. And yeah, having to go through the grind all over again to build the purified one because the meta shifted and then Scrafty and Obstagoon were all over the place.
Yep.
And that just hurt because you need return to hit back.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. That return, and that's also interesting because Logan just said nerf Sableye, and
that would hurt so bad.
Because there's the whole because I've been hearing and I talked about this on stream not too long ago, but I heard there's rumor, data miners about Niantic looking at actually changing Shadow and Purified Pokemon, because right now most of the time, like 99% of the time, you want to leave Shadow Pokemon as Shadow, but in the actual like story of the game of the Pokemon, you actually the whole point is supposed to defeat the grunts, rescue the Shadow Pokemon, and cure them of being in pain and suffering. But other than return, there's no real reason to purify Pokemon.
Well, yeah, that mechanic I don't really like, because you have to spend your resources to cure them. Which, like, you want to cure them, but at the same time, it's also still a game, and I'm not going to spend my valuable resources purifying 5, 4, 6 Shadow Bulbasaur. Like it's not worth it. It's just going to get transferred.
Then they go to the professor, and the professor can heal them.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, there's not really much incentive to purify right now, and that it's also scary because if they buff the purified Pokemon, Sableye is just going to go off the charts.
Yeah.
Like, it's already borderline too good.
Yeah, I would agree. So if it is happening, I think that's one of the reasons why it's taking them so long to do anything about it, because they're stuck in a hard place because, well, like it's going to make like something like Purified Sableye even more powerful, but at the same time, then there's someone like me who are people who have invested tons of Stardust in really powerful like high CP, high IV shadows for like their raid teams or other things or Master League. Like I have 3 level 50 Hundo shadows. I have my T-Tar, I have my Machamp, and I have my Arcanine. Well, I love my level 50 Hundo Shadow Machamp is a beast. It destroys things.
Yeah, like they're gonna piss a lot of people off if they really nerf shadows as much as the rumors going around, because there are gonna be a lot of really ticked off people.
Because there's a lot of people like for example, I don't know if you follow him too much, but name more like the big influencers out there like Brandon Tan. His huge thing for the longest time has been farming XL candy and powering up like crazy shadow teams. Like when if a new shadow comes out, if it's like the new like rank 1 of that type attacker, he'll get like a team of 6, and they're all like decent 3-stars, and he'll farm enough XL candy to level 50 a team of 6.
Crap.
Like when
that's insane.
Like when because Shadow Electivire was the number 1 electric attacker, and we had that electric event, that power plant event, like way back when Electabuzz was spawning. He went crazy and he caught every single one of them and traded them all for XL candy so we could get like the 3,000 or whatever XL candy he needed to 50 an entire team of so yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, like that's really gonna piss off people like him. That's and I mean, I haven't invested in any like level 50 Master League stuff. All I've invested in are Great League and some Ultra League shadows, and I would still be ticked off.
You
better refund me all my dust.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if they do sort of purified boost, they're gonna have to find a way to nerf Sableye, And the hard part about it, you can't nerf Shadow Claw. So many things know Shadow Claw.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you nerf that, it's the biggest meta reshift we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Nerf Foul Play. There are too many things that know that. Umbreon, Mandibuzz. Like, it's just too common a move in the meta to just nerf all of those top tier Pokemon. And so it's gonna come in the form of Return. Return is going to be the nerf for Sableye. And if they just make it a bait move, then that's what they're gonna have to do. Like, you can't buff Purified without nerfing Sableye somehow.
Yeah,
And
I would totally agree with that one.
and I hope when they do that, they buff Power Gem. Because I like my Sableye.
Yeah.
And having my Power Gem Sableye be useful again would be nice.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of fun on my Shadow Sableye. I took off Power Gem, and I would run Shadow Sneak, and I actually had a lot of fun with it because people would switch like Azu into my Shadow Sableye. It was Shadow Sneak, and I could actually like take down Azus with Shadow Sneak, or they would
Nice.
or because Shadow Sneak and Foul Play would actually come up at the same time because they're the same energy, pretty much. And you know, they would switch trying to catch the Foul Play, but I was expecting them to switch, so I'd hit Shadow Sneak and they bring in like Grand Bull or some other like a hard counter, and they'd eat like a Shadow Stab Shadow Sneak.
Yeah, that's nice. That's fun. I never ran it with Shadow Sneak.
It was a lot of fun in some of those matchups because think, oh, it's either going to be Foul Play or it's Power Gem, but I would actually have Shadow Sneak, and I was like, it actually caught a lot of matches quite well.
I can imagine. Yeah, like I know with Power Gem, I would usually, if it's Azu in the lead, I would end up having to catch Play Rough on Registeel when I was running that team. But yeah, Shadow Sneak, that's interesting. But it's so tough to abandon Power Gem and the OHKO on Talonflame.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that Power Gem like just blows up things like Talonflame. And also Sableye isn't the tankiest of Pokemon, so Shadow Sableye definitely was a lot more glassy. So he was quite often a lot more shield dependent. That was the one thing I didn't like about Shadow Sableye was not really the move options of not having return as much as just not you're just more glassy and you're much more dependent upon shields.
Yeah, my whole thing with Shadow Sableye was at that point in the meta, what I would do, I'd spend Bull Shields on it almost every single time. Because it was something crazy. I ran it through PvPoke. And it was, if I was willing to spend 2 shields and my opponent was not, Shadow Sableye was something crazy like 48-2 versus the meta.
Wow.
If they didn't spend both shields. I think or maybe more losses, but it was a crazy number of wins because the only thing that hard counters it are the fairy types, and if you don't spend 2 shields, it's just going to hit you too hard. And then with the way that team worked, I'd go down my 2 shields. I knock out whatever their lead is. They've got 1 shield left. 95% of the time, I get that other shield before Sableye's gone.
Yep.
Or comes in next. And then I've got alignment, and Azu and Registeel could just clean up whatever was left.
I totally agree. Yeah, that was a fun team. The Sableye, Azu, Registeel team was always a great team.
Yeah, so I think we've gone off on quite a few tangents here.
Yeah, we have. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Let's kind of bring it back. I think chat, if you guys have any more final questions or something you'd like to ask Kaleb Schulz, aka Big Dude K here, fire it off in the chat. Otherwise, I think we're going to probably look at wrapping it up. We've talked quite a lot of stuff, getting to know him, all the changes to Go Battle League Season 12, good, bad, debuffs, and quite a lot of good info there on how to rank up hit legend. I think one of the big takeaways is battle people who are tougher than you. Really look into getting into Silph tournaments and taking out in those really elite level tournaments, because those are the ones that are really going to challenge you and push you. So definitely look at joining up in the Thunderdome. Catpaw's Opens are going to get back into action soon with Big Dude and Party Panda and many other great PvPers in there. Hopefully stick with it coming in, and yeah, it's going to be a good season.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next season of Silph. I know Faction starts this week for the next season, or
Yes.
next cycle within the season, so looking
Sweet.
forward to that too.
Logan, this was like one of the first questions I asked you, but why don't we'll bring it back? It's like, what's your favorite Pokemon?
Machamp.
Yeah.
Machamp. Because that was back when I first started the game. That was the first thing I powered up, and it just ran through everything.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I got to level 40, first thing I put up to level 50. Yeah, whenever they release level 60, that's going to be the first thing that gets to level 60.
Yeah, it's such a strong Pokemon. It's PvP, gyms, raids.
Yep.
Everything. It's you got to have strong Machamps and fighters.
Plus, it looks cool.
I
like it.
It's on your the player card image you provided me for the stream.
That's
it's
why
right
I put it on there. Yeah.
All right, well, Kaleb, this has been awesome. Super enjoyed having this interview with you. Really hoping to keep doing more of these interviews in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
At some point, maybe we could get a dual Battle League stream or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Both stream battles at once. That'd be kind of. I know there are some popular streamers that do it, but I guess I probably should have talked to you about that in the DMs before throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Live stream.
You can look at it. I've talked to trying to figure out something with Blizzard as well. We're doing some co-streaming. Cool. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun. And yeah, so if anyone else would like to be on be a guest on the podcast, as I sign out, I'm going to have a little change here in the scene, and I'll have a couple questions. But basically, shoot me a DM either on Discord or Facebook. Message me. Let me know first of all, why do you want to be a guest on the podcast, and what would be the main topic or the main topics you would be interested in discussing, and we can go from there. But I definitely want to keep doing these podcasts. This is a great new series, and I want to keep going. So one last special thank you to Big Dude Kaleb here for taking 2.5 hours out of his time this evening to hang out and talk with us, and it was really awesome picking his brain with one of the better PvPers out there. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was a blast. And if anybody has any more questions, feel free to shoot me a DM. You can find me on the Discord server. So
yeah, we'll do.
Have a good one, everybody.
All right, take care. All right, good night, everyone. Till next time, be safe, have fun, catch lots of Pokemon. Thank you so much for hanging out for the podcast. And I will be back on Wednesday, I believe, for Raid Night and also for Go Battles. Tomorrow I won't be on. I got some real life stuff I got to take care of, but I will be back on soon. And thank you so much for watching. And this was awesome. I will be uploading this onto YouTube, and you can also watch the playback entirety on Facebook as well. And one last big final shout out. Thank you so much for everyone who sent in stars. First night with stars being on the stream. Thank you so much for the stars. It's greatly appreciated. And I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.